The norms. Our study deals with different norms existing in all areas of the society. We'll start with an explanation of the concept of a norm according to different authors. We'll continue with different types of norms, their characteristics, and the norms that the social worker must comply with at work. Finally, we'll provide a conclusion to the topic. Definition of a norm according to Cialdi and Trost. Rules and guidelines that are understood by the members of a group. They guide and force social behavior without. There are at least 3 generally accepted features of norms. They arise from prolonged interaction, they can be explicit or implicit, and deviations from behavior with respect to them tend to carry a social sanction. The rules are related to expectations from the behavior. The origin of such expectations points to different sources: society in general, some group to which the person attributes normative capacity, or the individual himself. Combinations of these sources are often given. Moreover, according to Cialdini, Renauer, Kallegren, they can also be derived from regularities observed in the behavior of others. Characteristics. Norms can be characterized by marking the behavior that must be performed, called prescriptive, or conduct that should not be performed, proscriptive. They can be explicit if clearly stated, or implicit if they are not clearly expressed within the group. They are formal if they are expressed consciously, or informal if they are expressed unconsciously. They can also be institutional if they are established by a leader or an external agent. Types of norms. Ott distinguishes 3 types of norms corresponding to other processes. Institutional standards, which are established by the group leader or by external authorities. Voluntary standards, which are negotiated among group members in response to a conflict. And evolutionary norms, which are born gradually in the group. These norms, according to Opp, emerge when the behaviors that satisfy a person are learned by others, causing the norms to spread within the group. Other types of norms. Moral norms. They regulate the behavior of individuals within a certain society. Social norms. Those on which the appropriate conduct of individual is based as members of a community or society. They establish values which people have to follow in the realization of their activities. Religious norms. They are behavioral guidelines that are established by the doctrines and customs that arise within the heart of a certain religion and are applicable to members of the given religion. Legal norms. They are norms and guidelines that regulate the behavior of individuals within a society, and in case of breaking them, that person can be punished. Etiquette norms. They regulate the behavior of the individuals in terms of the ways and manners that an individual must or should obey. They determine an adequate behavior in a specific place and time. Quality norms. Specifications which are established for public and private institutions for the valuation of their products. Technology norms. They are specifications with which the processes and technological products are regulated to guarantee their proper functioning. Ecological norms. A set of laws and regulations that are established to ensure a good care of nature, especially in areas protected by law. Penalties for not meeting the norms. Every social norm involves some kind of sanction used by the group if the norm is broken. Sanctions can be moderate or high depending on the importance of the rule for the group. For this reason, the limits or permissible behavior related to a certain norm can be highly restricted or very wide, depending on the importance of the norm for the group. Sanctions can be specific and explicit, as in sentences already codified for crimes such as murder or rape. They can also be general or implicit. In this way, ridicule, public mockery, and the threat of telling people something are sanctions in a strict sense, just as laws, politics, and courts are. Application of the information to the work of a social worker. Before a social worker starts any procedure, he or she must obey sets of rules of other. Principle of equality, which means that services are offered to all people, guaranteeing the possibility of accessing all available resources. Principle of freedom, which states that a human being decides for himself when to access or not a professional support. The social worker cannot force anyone to receive their services. Principle of respect, to value cultural patterns, recognize cultural plurality, and accept them. Conclusion. After carrying out this study on the norms that prevail in our society, we can see that they are fundamental to maintain well-being of the general population, as the world is the place of coexistence of millions of people. If each of us was governed by our own rules, the pre-established order in our society would not be maintained. As a result, it is necessary to control the conduct of human beings and punish anyone who does not comply with the norms.
Created using Powtoon.